The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
There's a girl, she's a star, she's got style, Steffi Star. You see her face around the town, she's popular, Steffi Star.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Weinstein.
And I'm Meredith Keach.
And we have a super duper awesome guest today. Meredith, you can do the introduction.
This is our favorite, Steve Lynch. Adam, I can't hear.
Yay, Steve. I know, it's
volume.
very soft.
Very soft.
I can hear you.
So Steve is one of my favorite Coldwell Banker agents.
We love
We've been friends for a
Steve.
very long time.
Yep.
He does real estate development, commercial. You dabble in high-end residential. And tell us about your career, dude. We're so happy you're here.
Oh,
Don't forget, get near the microphone.
Yeah, get near the microphone.
Okay, thank you.
And this
How's
goes,
that?
yeah, this goes in the front.
All right.
Steve's getting down to business. He's taking off his coat.
I wasn't sure about this whole process.
Yeah,
so.
no, it gets hot in here.
Yeah.
I love to complain to Adam. I'm sweating. I'm
Coming over a
thirsty.
little closer.
Okay.
All right.
Is everybody
How's this
comfortable
better?
now?
There we go.
This is good?
It's not
All
easy
right.
doing a podcast, folks.
Yeah.
Think it's easy?
Yeah.
It's hard work.
No. I don't even like to do the videos and the walkthroughs and talking.
I know. My son just said
I
to
love
me,
to do them.
Mom.
You do?
I do.
Yeah.
You're an actress because I see you on
I like to
on
do my videos. and-
Facebook all the time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Gregory my son does drone and he does video. And so he goes, I'd like to follow you around for a full day. I go, no. I'm like, can you ask your sister?
Meanwhile, I was jealous. I was like, won't he follow me around? I've got lots to say.
I'd rather have him follow you around.
Yeah.
Let's get back to Steve.
Sorry, Steve. Yeah,
All
Steve. How long have you been selling real estate?
12 years.
That's
This
it?
past April, yes.
Oh my God! I
Less
thought it
than
was
me?
like way more.
No.
What'd you do before?
Well, I owned a paving company, and it was
That's
actually,
gangster work.
Yeah, that's gangster work. And
Were you laundering money?
Yeah, I used to run a big one where that's who the guys that own. There's a lot. It does. I just looked it up today. They do $22 billion a year in North America.
Oh my
alone.
gosh.
They're all Italians.
Wow.
How you
Wait a minute.
doing,
So
huh?
how did you make the transition from paving company to real estate?
Well,
Sounds
so it's, when you said gangster, it's a really tough business. It's a young man's game. And I owned a union company, which put me at a little disadvantage at towards the end of my career, in that I had such a high payroll and that. But at the beginning, I had a niche where I ran a bigger company called Tilcon. The name is phased out in Massachusetts, but we did all this work, and they sold out the assets, and none of us had jobs, and they sold out the assets. So I started my own business, and I got a big client base from who we worked for, and that was good for the beginning of my 15-year career in that. And then we had the tough times. We had 2010, and we had one app that was like a 5-year dig out. I mean, it's like with this whole thing with oil-based paving. They give me an example. Our price of gas is going up. Well, asphalt, I had contracts when that first happened, and I had big guys that said, well, you're honoring that contract. We don't care if this has gone up double the price. And I had big jobs, and it was a tough business. So I have girls. My wife hated the business. So I had to figure an exit strategy.
I got it.
So
I like an exit strategy.
Yeah, so that's what the best strategy is on really high-end real estate and commercial.
Yeah.
That said, I started out, I took my test. I came to Coldwell Banker, I didn't know anything about it, but I was recruited like everyone does by all these agencies. And what I liked about them is the brand and the ethics and the morality, because I was in a business that didn't have a ton of morality, right? So I said, I got to get out of this other stuff, right?
Wow.
So then, after the first year and a half, I hated residential
Okay.
real estate.
What'd you hate about it?
Well, in our area, there's more brokers than there is product, right? And I didn't like the fact that, and even now, it's very competitive, and people will say anything to get a listing,
This is true.
right? I mean, you must run into this, right?
Yes, we do.
Oh, you should hear the things Meredith says.
Yeah, but yeah. And then back now, I think it's changed. I was happy with this change about the buyer broker compensation.
Same.
Yeah.
I was really happy
great.
about
Yeah.
that because the more valuable you are, the better it is for you, and you'll get
Yes.
paid. And
Yeah.
where a lot of deals I saw losing on both, and then you'd see both sides by that. So you don't have that fiduciary responsibility to your seller if you're the listing agent and you're not showing your property or this, that, and the other thing. So I kind of liked when this whole change came up.
Yeah.
And it's the better brokers are in more demand.
That's right.
That's what I say.
I agree.
You're right.
So I didn't like that. So then that's when Coldwell Banker just started, when Merit,
yeah.
and they started that program. And our manager at the time, Marie Lovely, she was running the Plymouth office before we we were under Easton for a
Yes.
right.
Yep.
So
Oh, right. When Roy
when
was
had
the
it,
manager.
right, when Roy was the manager. So I said
Sweet
to
Roy.
Marie, I go, I'm out of this thing. I don't like this.
I'm
She
outta
goes, You're right. So
I'm outta here.
she said, why don't you go to do this and do that? So that's what I did. And then I took that
Oh.
course.
Were you in class with Meredith Keach?
Probably.
No, I was
Oh.
I was the second class they did. And I think
I was
they only
there.
did about, were you?
Yep.
Oh, drive up to Reading?
Yep.
Okay.
I just kept taking them. They kept offering them. I did the first one. I did the second one. I did the
Okay.
third one. Because it was new. It was basically new language to me.
Right.
And I wanted to figure out what aspect of commercial I wanted to do, what I didn't want to do, what level, because I had a pretty good residential business. But you want to be able to capture the business that comes your way, like you've done, right?
Right.
And expand. You don't want all your eggs in one basket. And I was thrilled that he did that program. It was great exposure, and Samantha did it as well. It was good.
Roy, I'll get in trouble, but Roy didn't
Say
want,
it.
Roy didn't want her to take that class, and I called him up.
Yeah.
And because one time I was doing the guy that the hard money guy
Yep.
that was on East, that right next to the Ford dealership. Samantha got that listing, and it was a commercial listing. And so after that, I said to Roy, I said, she's got it, she's street savvy.
Yep.
Yes.
Father owns a small business.
Yep.
Most of the stuff I do is small business. And these people that run a business I just sold a restaurant 52 years. They wanted out there in their 70s. They went to someone else to sell it. They couldn't do it. They ended up going through 2 Coldwell Banker agents. They couldn't do it. Then the manager comes and you better call Steve up because you were selling the business. There was a lot of complications. There was some deferred maintenance issues, and they just wanted out. I think the employees had their fingers in the till. It was they just wanted out. It made a lot of money.
We have one of those on our team right now, and the owners are 90. They owned a daycare, and Sam and Meg Ferguson are on it and getting them sold.
Right.
That's us too. You really get like your owner occupied, right? I've sold a funeral home, an insurance building, these types of properties, and you. Which is the reason Merritt did those classes, because he recognized that residential agents know it may not be their primary business, but there's a huge segment of the commercial market that comes our way just by virtue of our contacts and our connections. People say, can you do commercial? And you don't want to say no.
No.
Right.
Of course you can.
Nah.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
thanks. Right.
Right? Or at least have someone designated in your office who can you can send
Work
that
with.
referral business to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really the thing. So I'm a small business guy. That's my pitch when I sit with someone. Today I was on an hour conversation with a woman. It's the third time. And there's 3 other agents involved. And I said, you got to straighten out all these other agents. She goes, I wanted to hire you right from the start. There's hard money behind this thing. The accountants aren't doing, they got money in this thing. No one's cooperating. They're working themselves to the bone. And they need this thing sold. so they can move on with their life, and they're in their 60s.
Oh, yeah.
So
How did you get into development, though?
Well, I was a contractor, and
Like swinging a hammer?
No, I hired we have a builder that does this, but I was with when I ran the big paving company, I ran my own company. I'm really a project manager,
Okay.
meaning,
Yeah.
Delegate.
Yeah.
I know how to do all the infrastructure work. So I sold a 34 lot subdivision to my partner on the deal now, and he had no clue about any of this stuff. And so at the end, we couldn't just sell lots, so let's build houses. I went through 2 or 3 builders. We didn't make any money because they made the money. I go, this gets old. So
Yeah, that sucks.
Oh, you ever have a developer say, you made more money on the last deal than we did? That's
I just had
not a fun conversation.
I just had some client tell me, you're not making more money than I am. I said, you made more money in the last 2 deals I did for you. I said, bigger the risk, the
Yeah.
bigger the payout,
Yeah.
and the same on
Yeah.
vice versa. So I hear that all the time.
And we don't get paid till closing, by the way.
Right.
I'll tell you another one if you want to go in that direction. Lawyers. Right.
We love our lawyers.
I like the ones, I told this client today, I said, it's my lawyer, I'm not doing the deal.
Yeah, I like that.
Because
Right.
You add some newbie in there, the new one to the mix, and you just...
No, they want to run the job, and they're not focused to getting to the end. I'll give you another example. A couple of years ago, I sold a big piece of property to Eversource that a substation was going on. It was a huge deal, right?
Wow, Steve.
And then at the same time, so I had a piece of this action. So between this go to Colabang, because I don't do it all through the company, right? So we then have another deal with a company that's going to lease this land for serious money to put a battery project, because we're right underneath all the high tension wires. So we had this lawyer, this power purchase lawyer from Washington D.C. He was charged us $1,200 an hour.
What?
And we ran up about $400,000 and legal bills. And
Steph, that's more than your hourly rate.
right.
What?
Right? So, yeah, I'm not. So my client and one of my best friends said at the end, and we're dealing with all these people. I got CBRE on the other side, and everything else. And at the end, my partner was writing all the checks. He says, Steve, I'm going to tell Croson, as the lawyer, he goes, you're in charge. Get this done. I'm tired of these bills.
I bet.
So when you say about that, that's what happens.
Yeah.
They get paid by the hour. If this fell apart.
Yeah.
Right.
But not your typical residential deal. They don't. They just have a flat fee.
Right.
Yeah.
But on a commercial deal, there is
Commercial lawyers get paid by the hour.
Yeah.
like the restaurant deal I had.
Yeah.
That was, and he went in and put a hard number in
Yeah.
for the. And I brought him in. Then you get the accountants. The accountants are worse.
Well, I'm in all due respect to them too. It's a lot more work, right? It's like the difference between a condo and just a single family home. They got to pour through all those boring documents, check out the budget, look at the financials, track that stuff down. I mean, we do it, but they have an obligation to do it as well too.
Right.
I think sometimes on the residential end, I think some of those folks don't get paid enough. I really do.
Right. You do?
I do. I mean, some of them get paid like $900. That's it. There's a lot of liability and a lot of work on their end that they're doing.
But they have access, I think, like SKM, right?
Yeah.
And I have used. We have a. I should say that I'm getting the one assigned to our office. She's really good. They have all that stuff on database. They get into the. I mean, on commercial. Before I get into a deal, I do all the research at the registry. I have a deal right now.
You do the title work?
I'm doing one right now that's got it. I have a Superfund site I'm selling down in Fairhaven.
What are they going to do with it?
Well, our AI program came up with a good thing for me to do, right?
What did it say?
Well, it's going to be light industrial. The town wants So basically, there's 3 documents. The EPA went and cleaned this whole place
So
up.
let me just give an answer. For those listening who don't know what a superfund means, that it's a brownfield or it's a toxic waste
It
area.
was toxic waste.
Oh.
So it was called the Atlas TAC Company.
Atlas
TAC, and the federal government paid for the cleanup.
Okay, and we're talking like for Superfund sites. You're talking it could be gazillions of dollars for a cleanup on some of them. And you can look up, they're also known as brownfields. You can look up on EPA.gov and look town by town to see where, if you have any brownfields or Superfund sites in your town.
Right. And then there's a consent decree, which follows the property, how you handle any protocol of development. There's a null, which tells you all this environmental issue. So there's 3 documents, and basically, the owners do not get any money. The sellers do not. The only one who gets paid is me. The town is owed $1 million in taxes. They only get a cap of $100,000, and the federal government gets all the money. They spend millions cleaning the place out.
Right. And so the seller doesn't get anything in exchange. What for? Like not going
gets
to jail?
off liability, right?
Yeah.
And it's an estate, and
boy.
The grandfather started it, and the father are dead, and this woman is trying to sell this to get out of this.
What type of contamination was it? Do you know?
It was all the bad stuff.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah, it was all the bad stuff.
So a lot of times they just cap it. They'll pave over, put a fence around it, and it's that way for like 100 years.
So they put the fence around, but they dug out 2 feet of 21 acres.
Okay.
Wow. And that's not enough.
And where's the soil go? That's what everybody wonders.
It goes to
the moon.
Well, it goes
Nevada.
No, it goes to Ohio.
Ohio. Oh, you were close, Meredith. Is Nevada near Ohio?
No, it can. That's one of them. That's one of them.
Yeah.
I did a deal up in Reading with taking out tanks, and this was the most toxic stuff you could. We hired Clean Harbors, and we had to ship all the liquid after we washed the tanks out to Houston. It's the only place in the country that would take it.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is another world to me right now.
Are you familiar with any of this?
No.
Oh, I got so many stories.
I've never heard of such a thing.
Mansfield's got a couple of them, too. They actually, they did a massive project, millions of dollars in federal funding as well, and actually turned it into parks.
Well, what about the Plymouth Rubber Company in Canton?
Yep.
They worked 10 years on that, cleaning that up.
So there's condos there now, too?
Yep.
Yes, and the restaurant. And
yeah.
They did a nice job over there. That was just
But some people still won't live there.
I don't blame them.
Right.
I mean, listen, you should be careful if you live next to an antique home planting your tomatoes. Like, it is what it is. You should have your soil tested before you plant anything.
You know what's weird?
What?
Everybody's front shrubs at my condo development are dead.
Yeah, probably from ice melt in the winter. We had a nasty winter.
Oh.
Yeah. It's probably why your concrete is crumbling too.
Oh.
So, Steph, you have that builder that you rep down the Cape. You had some new house construction. Wasn't it down in Barnstable?
That was a lifetime ago, Steve.
Oh, it was? All right.
Unfortunately, the builder went bankrupt and had to use his partner's daughter's friend's niece who sold one house in 5 years.
Okay.
And so the seller asked if I would be willing to collaborate, and I said no.
Okay.
I want off.
All right.
So that was that.
Oh, I was just wondering how many people on your new construction take radon tests?
Yeah. So they do.
Yes.
But my builders are like, we are absolutely not putting a radon system in. And one of my other builders in Rhode Island was telling me, he goes, this is a joke. So everybody has to put crushed stone, right, at the bottom. And all the crushed stone has radon. Period. The end.
So does your granite countertop, by the way.
Yeah, so he's like, this is it's ridiculous.
Quartz.
Right. So I don't know. Is radon a farce?
No.
No.
I think it can be. If you live in a cave, maybe it's bad.
I put the systems in my houses while we build them, and it costs $300.
I know it's cheap enough.
Not a big deal. Belichick's place, I was told, he was in Black Rock, right?
Yeah.
And the radon levels in his house were in the hundreds.
Oops.
Because
It's supposed to be 4.
Right.
And below.
Right.
Black Rock used to be a quarry.
Ah, there you go.
Right. So all the rocks in the crack, that's where the gas accumulates.
Yeah.
Right. So if you got a rocky site and they dig the foundation and there's rocks everywhere, I will bet you a lot of money that it's got radon.
Yeah. So just
I
open
mean,
your
so
windows.
right. I don't. Right.
Like,
Right.
that's
I mean,
it.
it only costs like $1,000 anyway, or a little bit over if you
It's
have
not
to
a
put
big
in a
deal.
mitigation system
Yeah.
in a residential home. But
Yeah.
Keep going on the Superfund. This is so exciting.
So the super fund, it was interesting, the podcast. So all this and the sellers do not want for me to disclose a lot of things. I go, how am I going to sell this if I don't come up with a narrative?
Don't
Steve,
tell them this toxic waste
what
here.
didn't they want you to
No, it's not-
disclose?
it's
We
not-
won't tell anybody.
No, it's not. It's not that they don't want. They know it's a super fund. They don't want me to lead them to. They want everyone to do their
Their due diligence.
due diligence.
Don't point it out.
But
Right.
The attorneys would tell
Are
you.
you
you're supposed
saying
to do
super
differently.
fun?
Fund.
Super fund. Yeah.
Meaning like costs massive amounts of money to
But
sell.
Super fund.
But you won't get it sold that way. If you don't have a narrative
Yes.
to get to,
Yes.
no one's going to look up. So I finally convinced. I got a link yesterday.
And then you're going to get sued.
Yeah, there's 91 documents that go along with this.
Stephanie would love that.
Right,
I would kill myself.
right. So I figured if I sell this,
When you got this deal, were you like, oh boy?
You know, I got this from another brokerage.
Did you?
Yes,
They were like,
They
we
couldn't
don't
do
want
it.
this.
They couldn't do it.
They said call Lynch
You know
now.
Landvest.
Yeah.
Landvest has a also an appraisal division because
Yeah.
they do all these big timber projects and everything else. So they were the consultants to the estate selling the site, and it first started with looking for comps. And since, as you know, we were on CoStar as the
Yeah.
commercial and
CoStar
that.
is really cool. by the
Yeah,
way.
and so I still couldn't find much. And this guy Emmett, he's in his late 70s, maybe going into 80s. He had one in Brockton, the old Brockton Gas on the east side. That was a really tough site that. A lot of money, and they got a solar field there and some sort of housing. That was one of the comps. And then in New Bedford, these people just bought the old power plant, and that was because when you got a power plant, I was involved. I put an offer in on the old Paul Revere factory, which was 222,000 square foot factory on the water that leaked in all the transformer stuff into the harbor.
Awesome.
We got a price. It was $5 million to clean it up.
Back then.
Yeah, it was about 5 years ago. My client really wanted the building. We actually offered more money than anyone else. And a fishing guy got it because in New Bedford, the fishermen run the harbor.
Right.
So we were going to do it for the Vineyard Wind. I was representing my lawyer, personal lawyer, was general counsel for Vineyard Wind on the big project out here, and $4 billion job. So
That's held up right now, I think.
What's that?
That's held up right now.
That's it. No, that is just completed. They just finished it this second quarter.
Muzzle
okay.
tov.
Yeah. So I did a substation over there in Fall
Wait,
River.
so the Superfund site, did it go through?
I'm still trying to sell it. I haven't got any offers yet.
Does anybody want it?
Yeah, there's these companies that specialize, but they want all the information. So this is what I said to them. Give me a path to show it to them. I have it. So I use the word as is, where is. That means where is. That means you're taking that. You have it all.
Yeah.
I go, that, just because I point them to all these documents doesn't mean we're disclosing anything.
Yeah.
It's public information.
Yeah.
Make it easier so that they can find it all and make their determination.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Makes sense.
If
I
not-
had that one time on an antique that had anything you could ever imagine an antique comes with. This little house had it. I mean, fine stuff. Anyway, buyer withdrew after home inspection, and the agent sent me the whole report. So I went to legal and said, what do I do with this report now? And they said, you have to point out all the negatives to any prospective buyer that's in that report and furnish the report to them. And I thought, I'm never going to sell this. This thing is never going to sell. And it was like a tiny piece of land, a little tiny house. And the next buyer that came along was like, awesome, this is great. I'm so glad I have this information. Moved forward, took the report, understood what was there, actually did have an inspection just to double check everything, bought it, no problem whatsoever. An informed buyer, better. And you know what? Some buyers, it's not for them, right? And that's okay.
that was the number one thing that I should utilize to sell the project. So I put all the documents into Copilot.
Yep.
And I put a memo in on everything I was trying to get in and done. Then I put like maps in there, and I took pictures.
Did it spit out?
An OEM.
Oh.
So what it came?
Look at you using AI.
I'm trying
So
to figure
great, right?
Yeah, I'm not. That was the first one I did. Like last week, I spent 6 hours on it. So back to what you were saying, and I then said, "Who am I going to sell this to?"
Yeah.
And then I said, "What am I going to use?" Like on LoopNet, they say mention the 3 biggest assets to get this project sold on anything you put on. Was all this report, because the risk has already been minimized, and you have a protocol on how you move forward. So that's a sale point. It's not as risky for them to buy. So that's exactly.
And you don't get a hysterical broker on the other end either.
Right.
Yeah, they know what they're getting into.
They know what they're getting into.
Yep.
So that's what I liked about it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, how much is it on the market for?
1.5 million.
Okay.
Sounds cheap.
21. Well, 10 acres are only buildable. The other 11 go right out to the water.
Oh.
It's a beautiful piece of property.
Where is this again?
Fairhaven.
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 Fairhaven. If you're not from Massachusetts, it's Fairhaven.
How
If you're from Mass, Fairhaven.
how far does this podcast reach?
This around the world.
Billions.
Really?
We're bigger than Rogan. And Mel Robbins.
In our dreams.
Combined.
What about Sean Ryan?
Who's that?
I don't know. Him and Rogan is supposed to be the 2 biggie podcasts.
Well, you know what? We're number 3.
Okay. All right. So, last thing about that Superfund site, I had gotten a call about a week or 2 ago, and it was a guy from up in Buffalo, and they do clean up, but they also do demolition. There's a 20,000 square foot building that's got to come down. And I said, "How did you get my name?" Because I only put it on MLS. He said, "There was some podcast from some guy I was watching, and he was ripping you apart." I said, "What?" I said, I guess he worked for the weather service and he lived in Fairhaven, and this has been a pet peeve.
Oh my God.
So he has his own podcast.
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I know. That's why I asked. I would be careful what I say.
You got to be careful. That's right. Well, we're very, very popular.
Yes. Yeah. I'm going to start listening to you
More of a
all
cult,
the time.
More of a cult following,
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah.
Underground.
But I couldn't believe it when he said that. He goes, "I watched this guy ripping you." And I go, "Ripping? No, I haven't done anything yet."
Poor Steve.
He probably just hates the property.
They do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes,
And then
yes.
we're attached to it.
Right.
Right.
I love that you do this, though. I mean, any job anybody does gets a little monotonous and boring over time, and you see the problems more often than not, and expanding into new avenues of any business is just great. I mean, Stephanie and I did it with the team, and it adds a new dimension, a new dynamic, a little more fun, more challenges. You got to do that. You got to keep.
I couldn't do what you guys do. And if I was going up against you in a presentation, you guys.
We would smoke you.
Yeah, you would, right? So I realized that. No, seriously, I did. That's why I said this isn't for me. I do sell stuff, but it's got to be my type of client. Most of the guys that are my clients, my small group that I move a lot of stuff, are guys I did business with in the contracting business, right?
Well, keep your eyes open for Alexa, my daughter.
Yes, why?
That's her type.
That type? Okay.
Oh, she's single.
She's
Okay.
single, ready to mingle.
Oh, I've met her.
You know Alexa.
Yes,
yeah,
I do.
She's
Attractive.
looking for correct.
Yeah, yep.
Yep, 35 and above. Well, 30 to 38.
Yeah.
She can't find anyone in the real estate business. My God.
She can't.
Really?
Yeah,
She's rather choosy.
right.
Well, that's good.
Well,
Yes,
right. People
that's good.
people keep telling her, lower your standards. Why?
Yeah, no. Well, she doesn't like someone before she talks to him.
And if their mother's ugly, she doesn't want to date them.
Yeah.
How old are your kids?
They're teenagers.
Teenagers. And yours are grown.
My son's married and Alexa's 30.
right,
She's going to be 31 this month.
I started late. Steph was a child bride.
I was a child
So
bride
I
at
started
25.
late. So I have a 23-year-old. My
Oh,
only
that's
daughter,
right.
Right. So, and I remember taking her and her roommates in college down to Florida spring break because they couldn't go by the freshman year.
Poor Steve had to go to spring break.
Yeah,
Steph,
I did.
didn't you do that too?
I did.
Yeah.
Alexa forced me to go to Mexico.
We
I
went.
go, I don't want
We went to Fort Lauderdale.
to. Oh,
yeah.
poor Steve.
Yeah, but know what I learned out of that?
What?
That you don't want to do it again?
No, I had so much fun.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yes, and my daughter's roommates, to this day, I still get texts from them because she went to Providence College. I'm flexible. I'd go down there any type of trouble. Not trouble, but like
Right, whatever came up.
Oh yeah, Dad, there's a pothole in the driveway.
Right.
Will you come down and fix it?
I'll
Blah,
be
blah, blah,
right
blah.
there.
Yeah, right. So
Of course.
what I found out and what I see now, and my daughter struggles with it a little bit, is boys. You know what? We were down there one day on the beach. And what do you talk to 4 or 5, 19-year-olds at that time? Dad, we've never been on dates. And I said,
Oh my God, we're going to go down a rabbit hole here.
yes, that's the rabbit hole I'm
No.
going down.
But so I met with some people who wanted to rent a property that we have. There were 3 young guys. One of them, so they're probably like 20. They couldn't be north of 30, okay? Supposedly professionals. One shows up in his pajamas. The other 2 couldn't be more awkward. None of them have, and listen, I was in transition too, but transient jobs, I'm going to say that. I don't want to say like a real job because maybe some people might say we don't have real jobs, right? But transient at best, like Uber driving, dog walker, right? And not established businesses, no plan to create their own, none of it.
Live off the grid.
Yeah, it was just, nobody looks you in the eye. I thought, oh my God, what happened to these men?
Well, the other thing too, they're getting into these relationships with these women, and then it could be a year, 2 years, 4 years, and then they just ghost them.
Yeah,
I'm on
it's like,
TikTok a lot. I can't
Oh
believe.
my
I'm like,
God.
who does that?
What happened?
Like you're in a serious
Is this from
relationship.
COVID?
I don't know.
Well, how about, and the thing about the date is they were saying, yeah, as groups, I mean, Providence College is a really party school too, right? You
What
think it would-
isn't?
Right, but it's set up for, they have all these apartments right by the college, and there's these parking lots behind them, and they have these enormous parties, like the golf day party, the street. I was on TikTok with this guy that has 3 million. I was flipping burgers on the grill, and look up Cooking by Daryl.
Cooking by Daryl, folks.
He's got like 3
Cooking
million.
by Daryl.
Right.
Was he partying down at
He came down because my daughter's roommate's father, they're from Chicago. Daryl made a ton of money at Disney and Microsoft with software.
Oh.
So during the pandemic, he decided to retire young. And because I'm always the oldest dad around all my daughter's friends.
Come
right?
on, Steve.
Yeah.
I don't
So
believe it.
I am. My daughter always said, Dad, you're the oldest dad my whole life.
So you were flipping burgers at the party?
I was flipping burgers at this party. It was 3,000 people, and he had someone up, and he filmed. He brought all these Weber grills for free. I mean, this guy makes over $1 million a year. So during the pandemic, he had 3 young girls, and they were stuck in this beautiful home right outside Chicago, and they started making TikToks by cooking. And back, I'm older than you, but there used to be this guy, Graham Kerr, the Galloping Gourmet.
No.
Ever hear of him? He
No.
had a cooking show, and he drank wine all the time while he was cooking.
That's like Julia Child.
Right. Yes. So Graham did it too, and this guy, Daryl, does it, and he got this huge following and people endorsements, and this is what he does. And he got out of the rat race,
Oh, fun.
and you have 3 million. If you have 3 million followers, you too should get your followers up because how
We're
many-
working on it. We're getting there.
I know. I'm not really on. I watch TikTok, but I don't.
All reels. I mean, even Instagram.
No, we do it. We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can make
We're
$1 million. They can make $1 million for
Yeah.
3 million followers.
Yep.
I'll work on that today, Steve.
It's probably.
I
be
think I only
easier.
have I don't even know how many follows on Insta.
No, your views. are-
Like
your views.
2,000.
That's
Yeah,
good,
you-
but yeah.
Yeah.
A little over
Yes.
2,000.
As long as you're growing, that's it. And yours are growing.
Do you believe in all that stuff in real estate? All these little short videos. Does that help you sell stuff?
It can. Gives you.
do
It's
you-
like marketing, advertising.
I know. Well, you do want some. You want some branding too. But
Yeah.
do you really feel that? Because I'm indecisive about.
Well,
this.
some of them you have to. Okay, can I answer that?
I think you would be really good, Steve.
I do too. But
I think you should do it.
in order to give an accurate answer for that, you have to look at the time people watch your videos. That's clutch. So if you have a 30-second video and people are dropping off at the second, that's a problem.
You're boring.
You're boring, right? But it's if they keep watching, then it's definitely worth it for sure.
Yeah. So.
I think you should hire my son.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
He'll
maybe
follow
I
you
will-
around.
yeah.
We'll do some snippet videos
The thing about
of you.
Greg doing it is you don't have to get comfortable with the technology.
That's
because,
my problem.
Yeah, it's a lot of people's
And
problems.
he does
You
all
hire
the
someone like
editing.
Greg.
That's my problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does all the editing.
Yeah.
So he shoots these
All right.
videos.
Yes, I'm
You'll
gonna
love
talk to
it,
him.
Steve. I think you should.
Yeah.
I did this one video. I used that drone. What's the one?
Drone home.
Drone home.
Yep.
So my problem with my development is people don't know about the South Coast. They don't know about Mattapoisett. They don't know about the Bay Club, and I'm inside the Bay Club. So,
Well, because it's old money.
Well,
down
that's
there.
what you have to talk about.
so I did a video.
Yeah.
And they did an awesome job. It happens to be 3 miles. Like they did the drone right over the rail line, the bay where it goes over the water, the bike path. Oh, the bike path goes right next to my Superfund site.
Oh,
It does, right? Yeah.
But you know what's so cool about talking about the Superfund site is vision, right? So somebody's going to have a vision, and it's like we've talked about some of these developments, right? Like Plymouth Rubber. Doug King, has done a bunch of these where he had talked about the vision of where it was Waxy O'Connor's, the one over in Foxborough.
Yep.
And so I drove with him one day, and it was an old mental institution, and he
Right.
just talked about his vision of what would be. And now you go there today, and it's so cool. So when you listen to a developer, I don't know anybody, I'm sure that someone exists, but who fights more fights on the daily than a real estate developer, because everybody is fighting a real estate developer. Would you agree? I mean, it's
not
just
for the faint of heart.
it is not for the faint of heart.
No.
And they have a vision, and they just keep focused on that vision. And if they get there, it can really be amazing for the community.
It's like anything. If we went back to our kids, I do want to finish it up, but I do think boys are way less mature than the girls their age.
100%.
And so when in my paving company, the majority of my employees were culturally diverse. Okay, so I had these guys hired, and I couldn't understand about why they couldn't do this. This was so obvious to me, and all this other kind of stuff. And I had 2 right-hand people. It was a guy and his girlfriend, and they were black, and they were my best workers. And Mark worked for me for many years. My big company came to work for me. And one day he came up to me and he said, "Listen, Steve," he said, "you grew up in a normal life. These guys, they didn't have a father around. No one showed them how to, take a hammer and fix a nail in the window. And they lived in where they didn't feel safe in their own house, a drive-by or this, that, the other thing. So all of a sudden, something, you're right? Now I got to kind of look at this differently." And that's back to these boys. Who's teaching these boys how to be chivalrous?
That's a great question.
Right?
Yeah.
Who's doing that?
With the parents.
With the
What are we doing?
parents.
What are we doing?
Right.
They're working. 2 parents working, right?
Right.
They're not home.
Yeah.
That's what I.
Yeah.
That's-
I think that's a good
Yeah,
assessment.
so I kind of put 2 and 2.
I'll blame Stephanie.
Yeah.
No, you don't blame Stephanie.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Steve.
No. That's your partner. You have to support your partner.
Her kids are beyond that age, though. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
And my son is very sweet.
Yeah.
He's
Yes.
a very good
And he has a great
husband.
business.
Yeah.
And what does he do?
He's married.
He does drone. He
oh,
does
that's
marketing.
he just does this.
Yeah,
Okay.
so he does marketing videos.
Okay. All right.
He's very talented. I just did one with him, and my opening line was, "Do you hate your kids?"
He went to school for this.
Gregory's,
he did. All right,
Gregory's
all right.
like, "Mom, we need a hook. That's the hook."
I'm gonna talk to him.
Talk to
I
Gregory.
got a few other. I
He's
got another
very
project.
creative. He's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah,
he's fun. He's
very
funny.
Yeah,
Comes up with some good ideas.
Yeah.
Takes after his mother.
that's right.
There you go.
Yeah. Now the videos can be fun, and then you kind of think about, okay, what am I going to do next? And Yeah,
and
it's good.
especially like the stuff you're selling.
Yeah.
That is completely different than any videos we're ever going to do.
Yeah.
That's way more exciting because I don't know
It's
everything
niche.
you talked about today. I've never even heard of.
Right.
I would absolutely watch your videos, and you need to do it.
And the cool thing too, Steve has a development of high-end homes over $1 million.
Come on, Steve. You're wasting your talent here.
Yeah.
Doing what?
You need to be doing videos.
Yes, no, I should
Immediately.
Yes, you're right. I have a hard time. Well, that's actually why I have Laura help me. I always bring other agents in on deals. Like if, say, Meredith had
Yeah.
a job that was really complicated, she hadn't done, I wouldn't like say, give it to me, I'll give you. I say, I need you in, you manage the client. I'll do all, that's what I do.
We do the same.
I do all the back
Yeah.
room stuff to get us to
That's
the,
veteran agent. Veteran agents realize you don't handle it all yourself.
Well,
That's
one
right.
time
Yeah.
Meredith called me. She goes, "Hey, do you want to go in with me on an overpriced listing that will never sell?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
and then did you sell it?
No.
No.
Yeah.
But we
No, that's
marketed
fine.
it, and it was
Right.
something we had to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly.
That's how it is.
Right.
But as we get older,
Yeah.
especially on the commercial, I kind of walk away a little bit if
Yeah.
they're unreasonable
Yeah.
because
Right.
all we're going to do is spend money.
Well, Meredith
Correct.
said very quickly he realized he didn't take anything in commercial under $1 million. And when I was young in those classes, I thought, oh my God, really?
$1 million. Right.
Oh, and you handle a couple commercial deals that take you 2 years to sell, and all the time, money, and energy that you spend on it, I got it.
Oh,
Yeah. When he said the average is 3 to 6 months on a commercial deal, that's the front end. That's
Yeah.
the best.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The one that Lynn and I sold for $8 million took me 2 years. I had to do an auction, so
wow.
the hard money men didn't want to foreclose on the developer. So what we had to do is develop a bottom line price. So I ran what they call a controlled auction through LoopNet, and we brought in, we got 2 offers, and we realized the best price we got was $5 million. So then there was $6 million owed to the lenders. So I said, well, you're going to take a hit. So they went to the developer and said, we don't want to foreclose on you. They ended up paying those guys off to go away instead of foreclosing.
Who
on
paid
them.
them?
The money guys, my clients.
Oh.
So this whole exercise was really to determine what the liquidation cost of this project was going to be. And then I had, by this time I had this list of people that were interested in buying 140 more permits in infrastructure. They already built the treatment plant on the project. It was a 58-acre site, and then we sold it to a really good developer, Thorndike.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we sold that, and he bought it for $8 million. And then the money guys did the financing again for the build out.
And
How
what was the ultimate with the project? What did they wind up doing with it?
They're still into it because I gotta ask Lynn because Lynn and her team had all the sales. How I got brought in is the developer's wife was a Coldwell Banker agent too, and then when this got in trouble, I had to try to sell it for the developer, and the next time he tells me the truth will be the first. So then the money guys, which is our landlord in Plymouth, which was my landlord in my paving business.
Oh, okay.
So these are all the guys I do,
Yeah.
I was around doing business with.
But that's
Now-
not an easy deal. That falls in your lap, and you're like, oh my God.
Right.
I'm going to have to.
So at the very
Unpack
end,
this one.
and then this is what I learned about Lynn, and I loved it because at first you have a different perception of these high-end real estate agents that sell a lot. So right before this deal's finally closing, I'm sitting in, I have a nice home office at my house, and I'm sitting in my chair. It was 10 in the morning, and I say, oh, what's he calling me at 10 in the morning for? It was the hard money guys. Go, Steve, this deal isn't going through unless you reduce your commission.
Come on.
Yeah, you've been working on it for 2 years.
Right.
Thanks.
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah.
What'd you say?
No.
I said, let me talk to Lynn, because he knew Lynn, and Lynn's from Plymouth. They're all from Plymouth. It's not my job to upset the apple cart on deals, right? I knew this was coming. And so I said to Lynn, and I was wondering what she was going to do. She goes, Steve, get whatever you can. It's better than nothing all the time you spent on that. I go, okay, I needed you to tell me that.
Yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, instead of 250,000, I got less.
Yeah. Yeah.
But 2 years, you think that's a lot of money?
No, it's 2 years, and not for nothing. What people don't know is you still have to pay taxes on that. You have
Plus the company takes theirs.
Yes,
Right,
the
you
company
got right. You
takes
have your
theirs,
split.
plus any expenses that you had for marketing, advertising, or paying people.
Plus any nights you didn't sleep.
plus your
This was-
bookkeeper,
I don't know
your
if you don't-
accountant.
Right.
Yep.
So I do have,
You basically made nothing, Steve.
yeah, well, not nothing.
I'm kidding.
But I'll tell you one more story if we have time about this whole commercial stuff. So I had gotten this other, and this is where I really learned this real estate business. So I had this building, an agent gave it to me, didn't want, he was the head of a, he was an agent, but he didn't practice that much, and he was an estate, and it was a small building up in Framingham, downtown Framingham. It was right up next to a scrapyard. He goes, "Will you go sell that for me?" And I'm at the beginning, and I'm going, "Yeah, why not? I'll do anything, right? I want to do a commercial deals, right?" So I went up and I realized how popular. I got 5 offers on this thing. Everyone fighting over this thing. Finally, I've been dealing with this guy. I'm not going to say his last name, but Peter, and I liked him, and he ended up buying it. He ended up being a broker, and he asked to be, co-broked on the deal, because then I learned out afterwards. So we sell the building. It had grandfathered zoning that everyone in Framingham wanted.
Oh.
You could put anything there. There's nothing they could do.
Wow.
So that's
great.
and this had a super fun cleanup
Oh boy.
too. So,
My God.
but that's not what I learned. So then about 4 months later, he calls me up and says, "Steve," he goes, "I want to know if you'll help me." I go, "Help you?" And he says, "Yeah." He said, "I'm ahead of our family. We're selling a commercial piece of property in Cambridge, and it's going to create a $15 million capital gains tax issue for us. So I want to do a 1031.
Oh, fun.
So I said, "What do you need from me?" And he said, "Listen, I'm looking at this other stuff." He said, "I don't want to do this by myself." He said, "You really are really good at sitting across from the table and going back and forth with everyone." I said, "Yeah." So we started looking at buildings. Like twice we were finalists. One was up in Lexington next to Lincoln Labs. It was a $25 million building. It was fully leased, top class A. Bose, Boeing, Booz Allen, Signet, all defense contractors. It spun off about $3 million a year in net profit on the building. Boston Partners owned it. It was all done, all the due diligence, deferred maintenance, new roof, new parking lot. So Cushman & Wakefield had it, and these guys didn't want to deal with me. We were sitting going back and forth, and they were taking offers, and they have this game where they take offers and they get you up to the, all right, best and final, and they get down to 2. And usually what I learned after doing this about 5 times, what I really learned was they already have someone like a REIT, it just wasn't quite big enough. It was about 125,000 square foot building, but it had big rents. And so then they just sell it out from under you. But that's not what happened. We got accepted the bill. So during this whole negotiation, Cushman & Wakefield, every 3 years, the leasing commission was $700,000. So I had to release that if my guy bought the building. Cushman didn't want to give up all the leasing. So I said to my guy, Peter, I said, "Listen, that's not a problem with me." I said, "If they move out, I'm not going to have some 60,000 square foot leasing person that's going to come in from California and take this spot. You got to do what you got to do." I was getting 2% of the deal, so that was going to be the biggest commission, or the most money I ever made.
But some people wouldn't want to give up that leasing because
Let me get out my calculator.
That's a
$500,000.
Yeah, that's a pipeline of business.
Right.
Yeah.
That's more than that, right? But I knew that wasn't right. So back and forth. So he was going to have to borrow about $7 million above the 1031. And he got cold feet at the end. And at first he started telling me, "Well, I don't want to put all my eggs in with Cushman & Wakefield. They got all these other buildings." And he is right. After the more I'm doing this, they could. Yeah. So, but what he really told me was, he said, "Listen, Steve, my kids are going to get this money. I don't want to give it to them.
Oh.
So what I want to do is they can have it after I get all of this in my pocket. And I go, well, how are you going to do that? He says, well, if I got to borrow 7, I got to pay that off. He goes, but it's split. He said, my thing is if I get something with the 15 million, right, then I'll take a loan out on the building, pay the loan off every 7 years and put 7 million in my pocket.
Oh.
And he said, so this is how what I learned that sophisticated guys do. So meaning pays for this, you because if you don't do it, you're writing a check out to the IRS for 15 million. Right? So you buy this thing.
It's big money.
He takes a loan out on it. When you're spending $3 million a year in net operating income, you can pay yourself you can pay a big mortgage. You pay it off every 7 years, then you borrow again on it, pay it off with the leasing money.
Because it's a cash cow.
It's just a cash cow.
Yep.
This is how. So exponentially, this is how these guys take this and make fortunes. Like, you feel, oh, that guy's worth Pierre, our landlord's worth $100 million. That's how they do it.
Meredith, we need to buy a building.
Well,
Get out your checkbook.
right. That's so I learned. So we put in, I don't know how many. I never did a sale with him after, but we got in really deep with CBRE. I'm the one that screwed up the last one for $8 million. It was a building next to Bose, the speaker maker up in Framingham, and it was in the middle of the winter. And at this time, I'm out of my paving business. Money's tight. I better be on top of this. And I'm Googling on this building. And I found out that there was a public hearing and a valet parking service went in this building. It was up on top of a hill, and all the parking lots were down. And one of the tenants had a lease. It required to have valet parking. And it was all high tech, and it was this software company. And the two biggest clients were, one was the guys that make the software for the Game of Thrones games, and the other one was Pornhub, right? And when you went up to these offices,
Steve, this is a family show.
I know, but I didn't say anything bad. And you went up there, they had pubs in the work area, these collaborative areas to sit in couches, and they brought in lunch every day. These were all these young techies, and they wanted them there 14 hours a day. So they had the valet, it was part of the lease, and they had daycare on the first floor.
Wow.
Right?
Like, come and live here and
Right.
work
All day
insane
long.
hours.
And so my guy, he starts belly aching about the valet because you have to have employees. I go, Peter. And he said, this is in the snow belt, Stephen. It's a snow belt coming up from New York through Worcester. You get dumped on in Framingham. I don't want, ba, 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 ba. We'd fall apart. We had that under letter of intent. Letter, right? I go, that was another good one, right? I go, you gotta be kidding me. So to end this whole scoop, so then there was one other building. Cushman Wakefield had that again. It was in Canton, one of those flex buildings, $20 million. And then I find out this family that owned it was a good friend of mine who we had kids at the same age, and him and I used to negotiate union collective bargaining agreement. He died of a brain aneurysm, and they were one of the largest real estate owners and largest contractors in Massachusetts. And his brother and sister own these buildings. So I call them direct, because when I call Cushman Wakefield, the guy starts screaming at me. He goes, you're nothing but a tire kicker. We've been down twice with you, blah, blah, blah. I go, listen,
That's the business. What are you going to do?
I had one guy from Avis Young call up, told me he was going to sue me, swearing at me because he thought I breached the NDA. These guys are tough.
There's a lot of NDAs in commercial, too.
Yeah, yes, there is.
Yeah.
And I didn't. What happened is another building I was representing, and we were going to buy 120, and they rep someone that just bought 400,000 square feet. So my guy says, we got to get out of this deal, Steve. Call them up. I said, well, how do you know that they're doing this? He goes, I'm not telling you. Well, he must have got the look at it. When I called the broker, he flipped out on me.
Poor stuff we take to the bed.
I could never do this.
It's I tell these stories, and I'm not embellishing. It's like true. The Boston guys are really. So when I sold the Eversource, the guy's daughter was at PC with me, and my client went to PC, and his daughter was there at the same time. So all our daughters were there. My wife went there. All I got 8 nieces and nephews that went there, and he was a trustee. And during the middle of this transaction, he was at Cushman Wakefield, so it was all this bad blood. And then he went over. He's the chairman of CBRE in Boston.
Oh, really?
He's the largest leasing guy. He was so difficult to deal with, and that's how they are. You usually don't have co-broking in commercial.
Yeah.
So they're not used to playing.
Yeah, they don't want to.
No, they want the whole thing. They want to control it. They're not worried about paying you, because it was interesting. Cushman Wakefield has the new South Station. There's 1 million square feet that's unleased over there.
Yeah.
And the vice chairman is a member of a golf club I'm in, and he never even talks to me. He came up to me, Steve, if you have any leasing, I'll co-broke with you. I'll give you $1 a square foot. I go, I wish I had clients like that, that would take, 60,000 square feet. So that's
why is it empty?
Because of the Boston market. The office market is so much. That's a beautiful. They have all the residential. Coldwell Bank. Cooperative has that, and it's over a train station. But that is the state of the art office building. That has everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. But I don't know. It doesn't always surprise you when something then falls on its face. Like, wasn't there a plan?
Well, that's a Heinz Developers out of Texas with a lot of money. That project was in the making for 20 years. And then you're so far down the road, when are you pulling the plug? And I read an article in Bankers and Traders. So really, I'm a researcher, so I read all this stuff. And they said that there will never be another building in our lifetime approved by the BRA of anything similar. That is gone. I mean, that cost $1.2 billion to build.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Right.
Well, and everything's changed, and it's changing again post-COVID.
Right. So
many people are going back to work like 5 days a week.
Yeah, because they don't know what to do with their buildings.
You think that's why, or do you think it's?
I don't know.
I think it's also.
I know, like Cisco has all these empty buildings.
Well, they'll do that, but what you're talking about is like, because J.P. Morgan, I was trying to do a deal down in Plymouth. Fidelity. I'm a Fidelity guy. They're paying those big salaries. They want you in, because there's no training, right? Say I'm a junior. They want all these senior guys. They want all that knowledge to go down. If you're in your house behind your screen,
right,
you're not getting on the Zoom. I hate Zooms and
it's terrible.
I think there's a balance. And 5 days a week might be a lot for some, but listen, I always tell new agents, the top agents in the office, you're gonna see them in here. Come in. There is, to your point, a matriculation through of knowledge, even just sharing. Sometimes you'll pick up business because an agent might have something and say, I can't handle this. Do you want? I'll refer it to you. Or you get opportunities to meet with their clients or do open houses for them, or just listen to them work through a difficult deal. I agree.
No.
Yeah.
So
and it doesn't have to be 8 hours. I mean, we don't work in coal mines. Like, come on. It's not that tough.
Steve, do you think it was a meteor that crashed into the water last week?
Wait, what? Steph is all conspiracy theories. What do you think it is?
What do I think it is? It's definitely something they don't want to tell you what it is.
They don't want to tell you what it is.
Really?
Yes.
Well, they've just dropped a bunch of that stuff with the UFOs and those grainy videos and all that. So I don't know his name. I happened to catch it the other day on. So I'm an MSN guy. I'm not a Fox guy. And he had this. He's supposed to be the foremost scientific. He's a doctor. I don't know where, Texas somewhere. And he said, "What do you think the odds are that we're the only, just our galaxy that they haven't explored has over 8,000 planets, and they don't even know? So are you trying to tell me that There is no other life out there. We would happen to be the only
Hello,
ones.
Elon Musk. He's an alien.
Yes.
Steve, unfortunately,
Okay.
our time has come to an end. Thank you so much for coming on our very popular podcast.
Yes.
You're going to get so much business right now. You don't even know.
Yeah.
Just
All
wait.
right.
Next
All
couple of
right.
weeks, you're going to be inundated.
All right.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks,
This was
Steve.
so
Thanks.
much fun.
Thanks, Stephanie. Thanks, Meredith.
Take care, everyone.